Welcome to Driven to Succeed Now podcast. Today's subject, have you lost your hustle? Now, what does that mean? That recently, I think it's been going on for the last couple of years, but just recently I've had a really hard time in the contracting world of finding people that are willing to hustle, get outside their comfort zone. Maybe they have 2 jobs to do and they only want 2 at a time. And when the third potential client calls, they don't answer, they don't return a call. They're just not interested in that third client. And guess what? They get the 2 jobs done. Now they're back to trying to figure out how to get 2 more when they just had a potential to backlog, to build a backlog. What I found is that since 2008, it seems to me, and that was the big financial crisis that we had, which affected housing, the banking industry, and basically it affected every industry. A lot of people, I believe, were so scorned or worn out or whatever you want to call it, that the hustle was killed in a lot of people. And now the economy is rebounding. Things are going a lot better. Unemployment's really dropping. The labor participation rate has gone up. But we seem to have lost that desire to hustle. I tried just this week to get a welding company to make some custom metal steps for me. And I just called. Instead of them saying, I can't do it right now, or, we're 6 weeks out, they just didn't want to bid on the job because they were too busy. Now, it's kind of ignorant thinking like that causes companies to exceed on a low rate. If you think about most companies that succeed, they find ways to grow. They find ways to expand. They find ways to partner with other companies, maybe to give away some workload or to get some workload, network. Try to figure out ways, how do I grow my business? Maybe they don't want to hire 15 new people at one time. I get it. Maybe you can't find 15 people at one time, but you can find one. And that's, of course, the excuse I hear is that we can't find good people. There's 7.5 billion people in this world. You can find one person to do whatever it is that you're doing to help you, I can assure you. What's happened is that we all get comfortable in saying we can't find the right person, I can't find good people. And that's easy to say, and I think what's happened is that there's been a lack of training or no training on the fact of how do you recruit people? How do you go out and find potential employees? Where do you look for them? Some of these people are going to need to be coached and really sculpted into what you need in your business. So you can find someone. Please don't give that excuse. There are good people out there. But here's what happens. A lot of times the entrepreneur is so deep in their business, working in their business and not on their business, there's no time to find good people. And so that's one of the biggest things that you're going to have to learn how to expand your time. In other words, you need to buy time. You buy time by delegating. You're going to have to delegate more and then free up some time and get your hands off the welder or get your hands off the freon gauges or the hammer. Or if you're in the computer industry and you're working on computers, you can't make that house call, that business call working on a computer. That's where your people need to come in. And so there's going to be a point to where you have to expand. And I get it. It's hard. I've been there. I've gone from one guy in a truck and a Tupperware container in the back holding my tools to 21 employees, 18 trucks, and getting it done. I know exactly how hard it is, but also know that you can do it. Since the financial crisis in 2008, a lot of people, like I said a few minutes ago, have just lost that fire. They've lost that energy, and I don't know if they're afraid that, it's just going to happen again, so what's the use? I don't know what the point is. But the point is you need to find it, you need to find the hustle, and you need to grind every single day. It's not just saying these words, it's the truth. You need to find a way to get this commitment back to your company, commitment back to your profession, and your commitment back to your family. Because you know what? You're not just letting yourself down. If you're not succeeding in business, you're letting your family down, right? So there's no excuse. You've got to be all in, and you've got to work toward that common goal of success. Something else in the common goal of success is the word goal. You need to write your goals down, and every morning and every night you need to read those goals back to yourself. There's something to be said about as you write something down, it's in one part of your brain, but as you say it, it becomes part of your subconscious. And when it's part of your subconscious, you're always thinking about it. It's sort of you're committing yourself to it. It's sort of like promising a good friend that you're going to do something for him. Well, you're promising yourself. I mean, you're making this commitment to yourself that you're going to succeed. And when you say it, it really helps. It helps in that department. Since the late 1970s, there's been a roughly 500 to 600,000 new startups every single year. Now, as you can imagine, 2007 and 08 and 09, that really hurt that new startup. But believe it or not, the startups were still happening, and it's just recently that those new startups have dropped to about 452,000. This is based on 2016 data, the last completed data that we have. We don't know what's happening in 2017 yet. That'll be tallied up probably March, April of next year, but of 2018. But the thing is that say contracting, for example. If you call someone to build a deck and they don't return your call, all right, now that right there is the underlying problem and one of the underlying reasons why a lot of people don't succeed. Driven to succeed now. The word driven is motivate, go after, push, persevere, just get it going. Succeed, and the word now added to it, meaning don't say I want to succeed and leave it at that and rest on what laurels you have. Succeed now, right now, today. Driving down the road, listening to this podcast, sitting at home, in your office, wherever you are, right now, when this podcast is over with, turn everything off and do something that commits you to success in the future. Do something that is an action. Schedule your next event you're going to attend. Schedule your next goal that you're going to achieve, and you're going to really work hard at it. Schedule your next meeting with that person that can help expand your company or make that next big step. Don't delay. Send an email. Make a phone call. Write something down. Whatever it is, you've got to commit now. Procrastination is one of the worst things in the world. Procrastination is probably worse than never even thinking about something, because, if you never think about it, it's, your excuse, whatever, it never crossed your radar. But when you think about it and you write a goal down, but then I'll get to it tomorrow because today I'm tired, guess what? That's the worst thing in the world, because you know what the goal is, you know what you want. You're just saying, I'm just going to take a back seat and do it tomorrow. And folks, that is not the way you do it. There was a lot of days I used to own a heating and air conditioning company. That's where I had the 21 employees. There was a lot of days that, nights, 10, 11 o'clock at night, I was still out working. I was hustling. I wasn't afraid to hustle. I did it on Saturdays and Sundays, holidays. It didn't matter. My honeymoon was supposed to be for about 7 days, and we had to cut it short to 3 days because my company got busy and I had to go back to work. I still owe my wife the rest of that honeymoon, by the way. And I guess with interest, so it's got to be somewhere really, really cool. Bottom line, find the energy deep down. Tomorrow's not promised to any of us. You've got to do it today. And why wait? Just think, if you start right now, that's that much sooner you're going to realize your goals. Getting back to the losing the hustle. If you come up with a system, or see, businesses are a lot about systems and processes, right? If you come up with a system in order to return all of the phone calls that you have missed during the day, and by the way, in this day and age, a virtual assistant is pretty cheap to get, and you really ought to look into it. Because the worst thing is someone calls and they don't get an answer, they get a voicemail. A lot of people are going to realize that they're calling someone small. Maybe even some people consider that person's not right for them if they can't get a hold of them then. What if they get the job? Are they going to be able to get a hold of them when they're halfway through? So virtual assistance is definitely the way to go. You can hire a local answering service somewhere in your local town, wherever you live, your local city. You can hire someone to work for you, obviously, but if you're trying to cut costs and grow in a business, it's all about that cost. It's all about the bottom line. Virtual assistants are someone that you can hire and fire, I guess, and not use them anymore if the money tightens up. Local answering services are a really good option because a lot of times you actually deal with someone that's local in the area and they know the area. They kind of, speak the language, so to speak. So it makes it feel down home, makes it feel connected, next doorish type thing. So you really need to consider that. And I had an answering service for years. Of course, I answered my phone. My phone was stuck to my head for probably 3/4 of the day. I don't know how I got any work done. But after a while, I was able to hire that answering service. And then, of course, we had people in the office, and we grew into that. It didn't happen overnight. It was very measured how we grew. And it was something that I can tell you that, you hear a lot of people say this, if I can do it, anybody can do it. But that's the truth, because I didn't find myself at the time to really know exactly what I was doing. I just knew where I wanted to go. And I learned it as I went, and I basically found tricks of the trade. So if you're in the contracting business, go to DuaneCotton.com, send me a message, and give me a call and talk to me about coaching. Because it's one thing that I can tell you. I know how to go from A to B. I know how to go from that one truck to that next second truck, and sometimes that's the scariest thing in the world. When you get a half a dozen trucks on the road, half a dozen employees, it's just nothing more than a process after that. You hire people, you fire people, it becomes part of your daily business, and it doesn't really matter. Of course, you want to hire people, you want to keep good team players. And I like to think of my employees that work with me now, or people that worked with me in the past, as teammates. I mean, we all had a common goal, and we all had a mission, and we worked together, and I think we did a pretty good job at it. And one thing that I can also tell you, I don't know at a point in time between 2000 and when I sold my business in 2007, did I ever lose my hustle. I mean, I was grinding away, and I'll tell you what happened. I lost my motivation, and when I sold my business, I took about 3 months off and didn't do anything, and that was the absolute worst thing I could have ever done. And then, of course, I got ramped back up into real estate. I was buying and selling houses before that, but like I said, I took 3 months off from everything, and I went back to work, and I started grinding again, and it took me a while to get back mentally, spiritually, to where I was before I sold my company. But now I have found an area of my life that I absolutely love. The energy level's there, the excitement is there, the vision is there, and it's all because of these things that I have learned over the years on how to train yourself and how to work toward that goal, and how to keep the hustle in your blood, how to keep the hustle, with your company, your employees, yourself, your friends, your family. Just keep everybody excited. Because I'm going to tell you, there's nothing worse than calling someone and not getting a call, or for them to tell you they're too busy to take your business. I mean, my God, put you on a waiting list. And then, if you go somewhere else, that's one thing. But just don't say you can't get to them for, ever. Say it's going to be about a month. And if it's something they can wait for, you know what? They'll wait for you. If it's something they're not, they're going to keep calling until they find someone. So how you expand your business, never turn work away. Always hustle and keep it going. That's it for today. Hope everyone has a good day. Go to DuaneCotton.com. Check everything out that we have going on. Send me a message if you would like some. Talk to me about coaching. You want to talk to me about business ideas that you have, and you're stumped. You're at one place in your business. Where do you go? I want to hear the problems. I want to talk to you about it. I want to help you get a solution to what's holding you back. And never forget, do not ever lose that hustle. See ya.